is up, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you a good beginner project, and SpeedRun 4 is, in my opinion, one of the best foundations for a beginner project. It is not too complicated, and it's something that you can advance in your own way. And the game concept is really simple. I do have these, I believe they are game passes. I used to play this a lot when I was a kid because, this was like pinnacle Roblox right here back in 2014 and before that too. Or I think this got released 2016. I'm not really sure, but anyways, I was really young. The game definitely did not look at this or look like this. Maybe just the starting area. I don't think those gears were ever up there, but yeah. So I don't remember this UI or this custom UI is really nice. But anyways, getting back into it, this game is very simple. I don't know what the stars are, but anyways, so you have your UI, which I don't know what this is. This is event. You have your store, your game passes, so there you go. And items, here are all your items I guess you can buy. Didn't know that these were a thing. Your world, this will be probably later on, or this is pretty easy to add. You also have your settings, what is this, leaderboards, just a very simple UI with multiple things to keep the players addicted, and it's very simple to navigate through. So the base core of this game is just, it's like an obby, and if I turn on shift lock, it is basically an obby where you just go fast. And this is a good game because you learn how to work with for beginners, you learn how to work with characters and their humanoids. You learn how to make a UI and maybe possibly UI designing. You also learn how to make a custom inventory, and that is embarrassing. But what else? Inventory. It also looks like there's a timer up here, so maybe per level. You also have the custom inventory down there. What else? I believe that's it. And you also have animations on the player. So this game uses R6, so that means there's only 6 joints for the character versus R15. So it's a lot easier to animate in R6, especially if you're a solo developer, because everything's just so much better. So there we go. And it looks like the timer is based off of per level. So the simple thing is it's just a part that you touch and you just jump. And I'm assuming maybe. Okay, so this is a jump coil, and then I also have my cloud, which is just straight up cheating, but yeah, you get it. So this is a pretty good game for beginners, and enough of the talking. There's really not much to do. Let's hop into Studio. So once you're in Studio, I'm gonna also keep the game open as a reference for UI, or we don't really have to go over that now. I'm gonna make these tutorials really small, but this is just the introduction for your beginner series. So let's plan out now. We're gonna want to create the yellow pad, the water that kills you, and what else? Yeah, let's just start with that. So now that we're in Studio, I'm going to publish this as, or I'm gonna change the game settings. Ignore this name. This is a old project of mine, so I'm gonna just make it used for the tutorial. Beginner project tutorial. Okay, so once you name your project, let's just start simple by, you should already know how Roblox Studio works, and you should be familiar with it. This is a beginner tutorial, but I'm not going to go in depth on how to use Studio and what Studio is. I will be supplying what I'm doing and try and give a little background on it, but I'm not going to go in depth of it. So you should already know how to move, scale, rotate, like everything with Studio, and familiarize yourself with it. So once you familiarize yourself with Studio and you're pretty confident, let's just add a part. Now although this is a beginner project, I'm going to show you guys how to also organize your projects. Now, some of you may be thinking, oh, the yellow part has a script in it that changes the humanoid's walk speed. That guy's dancing. Okay, anyways, you might be thinking like, oh, this probably has a script. Each yellow part has a script. No, we're not doing that. We can do a for loop, or we can make a module script. A module script, which would be object-oriented programming, if we base it off of that, then it would be, you know. So one thing I'm gonna do is in replicated storage, I'm gonna make a new folder. I'm gonna call this modules, and I'm gonna make a new module script, and I'm gonna call this touch. Actually, I'll make this, we'll make a subfolder in here just to organize it and call it components. So these are gonna be the components of our game, like for example, the part that we touch, maybe the portal, and whatever that gumball thing is. What else would be a component? The lava or cocoa water, whatever you want to call it, the kill. This is going to be all of our components for our game. So let's make the first one by calling this walk or speed pad. Let's call it speed pad. Okay, I'm going to zoom this in so you guys can get a better look. Hopefully, this is my first time doing this, so I won't make it too long. So we can do function speed pad colon or dot new, and let's pass through the speed pad part. So this is just going to be a function just to set up our speed pads. We don't have to use self, I believe. I mean, we could. Yeah, let's use self. Okay, so we're going to do speed pad dot underscore index equals speed pad, and we're going to do local self equals set meta table self and then speed pad, I believe. No, unknown global self. Or is it an empty table? It might be an empty table. I'm not too familiar with the whole self thing, but we can do self dot speed pad equals speed pad. Also, one thing that, or speed part, I should pass through so it's not really like confusing. So speed part is this, and this is the part instance of, this is going to be the instance for the speed part. So if you're questioning what I'm doing so far, local self just defines this whole like thing, or not function, but the part. So the part that you pass through, which let's say this is one of them, speed part, it's gonna go, imagine it just goes like, it just clones this module script and it just tosses it into the speed pad. So that's what you kind of want to imagine it. So we're also going to use an attribute just in case we want to set different values for how fast you go. So I'm going to do self dot speed equals speed part colon get attribute speed, and then I'm going to do self colon touched, or on touched, I should say on touched. And we do function speed pad colon, not a period, on touch. And now we don't have to pass through the speed part here because it's already defined in self. So imagine self just being a global variable that you can access if you have a colon. If you don't have a colon, it won't work because I genuinely don't know, but yeah, you get the point. Okay, so now what we want to do is make sure that when it is touched, so when the part gets touched, this will just run the function for when. I'll do self dot speed part dot touch connect a function with the hit part, and then you could do local humanoid equals hit part dot parent colon find first child humanoid, and then if humanoid, then local character. We don't need the character, but just in case we want to apply animations later on, we can do it through here. So yeah, so humanoid dot parent. Now we're gonna do humanoid dot walk speed equals self dot speed. And let's just say here, we can run other accessible code for the character, such as teleport, or not teleporting, ignore code assist. What were you just saying? Animations, such as animations, or it could be like, you know, starting timer, stuff like that. You know, like we can just verify because we already have like our on touch function. And now we need to make a script in the server script service, and let's call this game. And then underneath this script, let's call this components. And then make sure in your components, this is, well, you can actually just, you don't even need the game. It's all preference. I like to organize mine by server scripts. Each one's different. So here's a good practice when programming. Make sure that you put your author, which is your username, or you can put your real name. It's completely up to you. And I also like to keep the date tracked, 8/20/2024. And I also like to add a description, which would be initializes components, and then I like to put brackets, or you could put whatever you want, but I think the squiggly brackets, or what are they called, curly brackets, I believe, look better for anyone else reading it. So you could put them under here, or, you know, put them wherever you want. You can also act it as a table where it's just like this, like speed pads, jump pads, and I don't know, like kill parts, you know, just, yeah, you get the point. But right now we only got speed pads in the game, so we don't want it like that. And now we can do a requires. So local replicated storage equals game colon get service replicated storage, and we can do the modules equals replicated storage dot, or you can do wait for child. I'm gonna just do find first child, or yeah, do find first child, not wait for child, my bad. Do modules, and you could do yeah, we'll just have the modules reference components, no, modules colon find first child components, and then local speed pad, or no, I mean, yeah, we can requires components dot speed pad. So the reason why we're using require is because it's gonna require this module script. So everything in this module script is now basically in this variable. So you could do speed pad module, and then do a for loop, for underscore, or let's just do index in value in pairs. We could do collection service, which is a lifesaver in coding. And I also gotta end the comment. But I think I'm gonna just make a folder for now. I'm gonna just call this speed pads, and I'm gonna do that. And then workspace dot speed pads colon get children, and I'm gonna pass this as a speed part. And just so you guys know, this is the index, so this is gonna be 1 2 3 4 5 6, and this is gonna be the actual reference, like the object. So this would be I speed part, and if I duplicate it, let's just say this would be 2, and speed part, or speed whatever happy, let's just say it's gonna go 1 2, and speed part is the name of it. This is just the variable name to reference it, so you can name this whatever. Some people do IV for index and value, but I like to type it out. It just makes it look cleaner for people that are reading. We really don't need the index, so another practice that people do is just toss an underscore in there because you really don't need it. So now what we can do is if speed part colon, yeah, let's just check if they have a tag speed pad. So now click on your part and scroll all the way down, and you'll see this little section called tags. Press that plus and then just type speed pad. And remember, add your attribute and I believe you need the type to be a number, and what do we call it? Speed, I think. Okay. So the default speed of Roblox humanoid character or humanoids are 16. We want to make this double, if not faster. So let's just start with a double, which would be 32. And basically now we're checking if it has the speed part, or if the speed part has the tag speed pad, then we're gonna run the code here, and we can do speed pad module dot new, and then the speed part. And we also we don't need to pass through the attribute. So now if we run the game, let me make sure this part's anchored. I'm gonna make it look like this, kind of like the game. I'm gonna not shrink it down. Let's just say it's yellow, and there we go. So now if we step on this, if I turn my shift lock on, we do get the speed boost. It's very subtle, but you can see that we do get the speed boost. So if you ever want to change it, let's do 32. Let's try 128. So now that we tried 128, we can see how slow we're walking, and when we step on it, you can see that we get our speed boost. Now the cool part of what we just did is now after, as long as all of our speed parts are in this folder, we can add as many as we want. So like how they have levels, we now have our own custom, our own basically thing that clones it. So the best way to put it now is to say each one of these have a speed pad module in it. It contains all these functions. Instead of filling these with scripts constantly, you can just now edit a value in your speed pad module. Let's say, oh, we add something new, self.animation ID equals speed part get attribute and then the animation ID. Or, you know, just whatever we want. Like, let's say like we could do a color change, and whatever we add is gonna go to all of these parts. So we don't need to individually go through each part by itself, or each script underneath the part. After we did this, we basically have our speed pads done. Maybe add a little bit of UI effects, but I will get into that later. We're just working on getting the game working and, you know, building that foundation. So one thing we could do is make a folder and just call it components, and then make a folder called levels. This is just like future reference level 1. Let's just use actually we can use this. We can just call it level 1, and then we can do level 2, and then, you know, obviously we don't even need the speed pad. We could keep it like that. Like, we could keep it like this, how we have it, because each level we could either just put all the level stuff in it, which would probably be more organized. Yeah, I think it might be better to put the speed part in here instead of components, or not components, the workspace. So like I said, remember how we had all those, all these parts? We don't have to edit the script. We can just do workspace dot levels, and then actually, yeah, let's just use collection service. So I'll show you guys something neat with collection service. Get service, collection service. With collection service, you can just do collection service colon get tagged speed part. So now this will, no matter what happens, it will get all the parts in your game with the speed part tag. Or we called it speed pad. My apologies. So now it will just get all of them. So we don't even need that workspace dot components or speed parts, whatever we called it. So it should work if we press the play. I'm gonna just drag this a little bit closer to the player. Oh, that made it farther. Now if we just walk over, and there we go. Now you can see it is a little bit fast, so I think 64 might be a good value, but this all depends on the scale of your map or your level. So I'm just gonna build a simple level real quick, and I will get back to you guys when I am done. Okay guys, so I just built this quick little level, and um let me delete the actually yeah, I'll just delete the base plate. So I'm gonna just make a spawn, and this will be where the player starts for the first time in the game. Let's do granite. No, that looks like lava. We want cobblestone. No, I'll just do carpet. I'll make it lighter. Yeah, that looks it's terrible, but you get it. Spawn. So I'm gonna make a new folder for just the spawn. I'm gonna just call this spawn, or main spawn. Let's just say main spawn, just in case we end up having other worlds. Just call it main spawn, and there we go. So that's our spawn platform, and now we need a spawn point or a spawn location. So I'm gonna just make this like this. Can't collide false. Transparency 1. I'm gonna use this plugin called Reclass. It costs money, but I got it before. As you can see, it just converts what the part already is as a location. I'm gonna just call this spawn location, and there we go. So once you put your portal in, you need to select the middle part that you're gonna be using as the detector to make sure when the player touches. So if you just press, if you hold Alt and you press click it, the middle part, you will see that if you scale it, it definitely is the middle part, without a doubt. So now we just need to make sure there's 3. So I assume it's some type of fade. There's some type of fade going on. I just grabbed this from the toolbox, but one thing I will do is insert a new part in the portal. Actually, let's duplicate the portal part, and let's just hold control so it scales evenly, and do something like this. Yeah. And let's call this hit box. Now click your portal model, click the primary part property, and click on the hitbox. So now this is where we're gonna detect the players touching it. Make sure to put the transparency to 1 because you do not want to see this. Now the way I organized it also is I just tossed all the terrain into a terrain folder. In simple ways, I just named the start and the end. So if we ever do want to modify, like let's say, I kind of don't like terrain 5, I might need to move it. I'm not gonna, even though you can just click it, it's just good to organize your start and end, and you can number it if you want to. You could just call it small terrain for an example, because this is all the same terrain. So this would be small, these 5 would be small, this long one would be called long terrain. We have our spawn, our first level that the player is forcefully going to spawn into. We are missing the kill. So this is going to be my base. I'm going to also call this kill. And I'm going to toss this into... Actually, we don't even need it to be a model. We could just make this a kill. And then drop this. There we go. So this is where the player is going to die. completely up to you how big you want it. It doesn't matter the size. Just try and make it like your playing field. So like even still, like I could probably toss this in the middle here, just eye it. I can scale it evenly across everything. So now it's nice and even on both sides and it stayed in the same spot. Now I'm gonna just make this water. And do they have a water? They do not. So I'm gonna just make this smooth plastic. Smooth plastic, and I'm gonna put that transparency to 0.7. Now since it's smooth plastic, we're gonna have to make it a darker color. I think that's pretty good. I'm also gonna scale this up, so kind of as it looks like that it is being touched by the maybe here looks good. Now yeah, let's just make this a model. Let's just say this kill model. So we can just group all of our kill stuff in one area. So now that we have the kill, we can duplicate it, drag it a little bit down, and then put a darker tone on it with less transparency to give it that kind of nice blue undertone. And I'm gonna call this base. So this is the actual kill one that's gonna kill the player when they touch it, and can't collide false because it's water. We don't want our player touching the water if they're gonna die. For the bottom, I'm gonna keep it can't collide true because we don't want the player just to fall through the map. So there we go. And if we really wanted to, we could add another one underneath. That is gonna be like that. And then push it up. Or this base, I'm gonna push it up. Not that one, this one. There we go. So now it kind of just has like that nice blue tone to it. Maybe a little bit dark, but you get the point. And we'll have walls here so they can't just, you know, see out in the map. But anyways, we have the spawn location, we have the speed pad, we have our terrain, we have our kill. Now for the kill model, throw a tag called kill. Yeah, throw a tag. I was thinking if we should make two separate functions for the kill model, if it's a model or just a kill. So the kill model is gonna be the complete levels like kill. So I actually got kicked out, so I'm gonna just close that, leave. Get me out. Get me out. Okay, so I'm also going to wedge this there. Yeah. And I'm gonna wedge this down. You know, just make everything look nice, like it's all connected. There we go. There we go. This doesn't matter, but if you really wanted to, you could just wedge it down. Maybe this too. Just put it really tall. So now we have the spawn, the speed pad. We need the kill. So like I said, I'm going to make a kill model, which is the levels floor death. No matter what, everyone is gonna have this. So I'm going to call this a kill model. Yes, kill model would be appropriate. And this is just gonna 100% kill you. So in our components, make a new module script, and let's call this kill model. And if you really wanted to, you could just copy everything in here. Make sure you also copy this, and like I said, just for simple sakes, like you can do this. Handles, speed pad, component. This is all optionary, but I really do recommend like putting this in here. So like, you know, even if other people read your code, even if you come back to read it, yes, people hate on comments for some reason. I don't know why. I think comments like this are appropriate. Comments like this are pointless unless you have a very complex function. but use comments. It's your code. Use it how you want. Some people have a weird take on it. So I'm gonna just do this, and I'm gonna copy this. If you really wanted to, you could copy all of this code. Speed pad and a kill model is the same thing. So I'm gonna just toss this in, and make sure you do copy the name of the kill model and you put it in here. And you just replace everything and return kill model. And I'm gonna put this handles levels floor kill component. Okay, so I'm gonna call this kill model, and I'm gonna pass through as the type model. Now if I do this, and we don't need that, we can do self.kill model. Boom. Now we can do self.kill model. Now another thing is, did we set the primary part? So we didn't set the primary part. Let's set the primary part to the part that we want to kill the player. In my instance, it's gonna be the kill part name. So self.killModel.primary part.touch, and we can just keep this, except we can just do humanoid take damage. We can do 100 because the humanoid shouldn't have any more, they shouldn't have any more health over 100. But you know, if you have like custom health boosters and stuff, you know, do like 150, you know, adjust it accordingly. But this is the kill model. Remember, this is gonna be for the bottom of every level. If the player falls there, we should just kill them instantly. No, yeah. So we could just toss 10,000. Is that 100,000? So, another tip I would like to show you guys is, since you guys are beginners, or hopefully beginners, sometimes people probably just podcast like me. I'm a podcast person for Roblox scripting tutorials. I'll be in work just listening to Roblox scripting tutorials. So you can put this underscore to separate it. Now what the underscore does, it just acts as a comma. Because you know how if you try and put 100,000, it kind of just like makes it iffy. Or if you put it like that, it kind of looks weird. Especially when you get to bigger numbers like that. So you can just toss that underscore in, and I can easily see that this is 1 billion. So there we go. Now that we have this all set up, we can just go to our components. Yeah, let's call this component. Then we do for underscore and kill model in pairs collection service get tagged kill model do if kill model has tag. Well, we don't even need to add this tag, thinking about it now, because we're getting the tag no matter what. So we don't even need that. We can just keep our thing basically like this. Then we can do kill model module dot new and then kill model. Now we can just do this, Control C, Control V, and do kill model. Kill model module. I don't know. Anyways, I'm just dragging out this tutorial. I'm sorry. It's already 47 minutes long, and I only got this far done. Okay, let's test it. Set meta table nil or table expected. Got instance. Okay. Okay, I see why. And the issue is because the kill module parameter is the same as this one, so we have to make this lowercase. And one thing I also forgot too is we also have to put this lowercase. And it don't matter because it's self. So if we touch this, painfully walking, you'll see that we do get our fun game. And my speed might be a little bit too fast, and if we touch that, we die. And then we respawn. And now we're back at the start. So that's gonna be it for this video of making our speedrun 4. We set up the portal so we can use it for future. We set up the kill module or model. we set up our spawn, we set up our speed parts, and yeah, level 1's complete. And if you guys do want, before level 2 comes out, or portals design, just this is a beginner tutorial. Build, just add little details, like even stuff like this. Like, I should do it like this actually. Add little stuff like this that makes your game just look a little bit higher quality. Just add that darker color gray, or maybe the better way would be to revert it and then just drag it down a little bit. Here, let's say I shrink it all the way to 0.5 studs, and then I can just add a neon, and I'll make this like white, and then just little details like that. Like it just makes your spawn a little bit better. I'm sorry for the long tutorial, but I'm trying to help you guys advance. This is a beginner tutorial, but it's a beginner tutorial for you to advance. Projects and challenging yourself is a way to advance yourself. Remember that. That's how I got really good, especially in this last summer, I should say, because it's almost over. This summer, I advanced so much with just a project that's not even released yet. Just stay at it, and just get good at everything. Building and scripting are the main keys. If you can build and script and just find your own. Anyways, I'm sorry. Part 2 will be out soon. Portals are next.